Hello everybody, my name is Ilya.
And I'm Tyler. Together we make up Kovray, a couple that loves to play board games.
Today we're taking a look at a new Kickstarter project.
CHAINsomnia!
This game is published by Japanime Games, who helped sponsor this video.
And you can check out their Kickstarter live right in the link below. So, what is CHAINsomnia? CHAINsomnia is a 1 to 4 player game that takes about 40 to 60 minutes to play. And the whole story behind it is that you've been captured by this evil demon while you were sleeping. And you're caught in his castle. So what you're going to want to do is try to escape that castle by exploring, defeating the nightmares that he sends your way, and ultimately pushing your luck to see if you can escape before being chained up. So let's take a quick look at how to play the game.
So you'll have 6 asymmetric characters to pick from that have various actions. They'll start off on the CHAINsomnia tile, and then based on your action points which you have, which are limited by some of the chains that you'll acquire throughout the game, you'll take turns exploring the castle, flipping tiles, completing events by rolling your dice, and combating bad dreams. Now, when the demon's turn happens, or when you explore new rooms, there's events that are flipped. Some of them go towards your favor, but some of them are auspicious or ominous events that sometimes create bad dreams for you, which you need to clear before you leave the game through the wake-up tile. Now, the way you win is if any one character steps on that wake-up tile and there's no bad dreams, but you'll lose if the deck runs out, or if a certain amount of your characters are chained in cages. Will you escape the Nightmare Castle?
Ooh.
Let's find out. So today we're going to do a merit preview for you. Now, what's a merit preview?
Well, in a merit preview, we look at the memorability, the education, the replayability, the imagination, and the target.
So let's dive right into memorability. Now, this game has a lot of grand and suspenseful moments. Because you're flipping various items, various events, and various tiles, you never quite know what you're going to get. So with that come those really nail-biting moments, because you could be one away from escaping but then lose the game. You also, it is a dice game, so some of the skill tests will be dice. So that's always kind of edge of your seat type game as well.
Yeah, they intentionally created it so it's not always possible to win those skill tests. The next thing I want to talk about is the potential loss of this game. So you'll work towards trying to escape the castle, and as we kind of alluded to, there are moments where you will not necessarily get the right roll, get the right cards, and it will become harder and harder as you progress through the game, meaning that it'll be harder and harder to win the game, and ultimately the game is set up so you probably will lose a couple times before you win.
There's these shriek cards, so every time they're played, you get to draw more event cards. So it does get trickier and trickier throughout the game. But that's the fun of it.
Exactly.
And now, last but not least, there's also a secret envelope that you have that you get to open when you win the game for the first time, which is always exciting. I love a little bit of secret envelopes.
Yeah.
And it's definitely a fun one.
Yeah, we won't give it away, but it's a good one. Secret. All right, let's move on to the education piece. Yeah. So the first part I want to talk about is playing to strengths. In this game, we've talked about how there's 6 different characters, and each of those characters have special trait skills, and they also have a unique ability that they're able to use. So with that said, you've got all these tiles on the boards, and you really have to understand which characters should be doing what, and almost allocating which of your team members should be focusing on what kind of skill tests or what kind of tile exploring, that kind of stuff. So you really have to understand your characters when you're playing this game.
Beyond that, this game does a really good job at exercising that adaptive element. You'll begin with a strategy and say, okay, let's get all these tiles on the board, let's try to open up this area, let's do this. But all of a sudden you flip a tile that kind of gives you a dead end, and you can't really continue that anymore, or you have one character who's really trapped. So you really have to be adaptive to what happens in this game, because even some of the good stuff, if you get an item that's really good, and all of a sudden this item would be really good on the character that's really far away, how do you create that momentum, and how do you make sure that that happens? So it really teaches you to be adaptive and think on your feet in that perspective.
Yeah, and then just to further that, I guess the next thing would be deciding things as groups. So you're not always going to want to move together in this game, or maybe you will. But it's up to you and your team to kind of talk about that and see what needs to be done, see what you should be going for as the character you're playing, and then also more importantly, items aren't necessarily as great on certain characters as they are on other characters. So you really have to be wary about that and make sure you're all talking so that you'll succeed.
Yeah, board games do a really good job of building those relationships. You may start off with, no, I'm right, to actually, okay, let's try to figure this out. We've lost this game 4 times. We gotta start working together here.
Yeah, the co-op element of this is very immersive. It feels like you have to be communicating with everybody around the table.
Absolutely. So let's talk about replayability. Replayability. So there's 6 different characters in this game, and they're asymmetrical. They don't only have different skill stats, but they also have abilities. So each time you play a character, you kind of have to adjust and learn what the best route for you to take is. So for example, if you're really strong in luck, you may just want to focus on those luck rolls.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And that kind of leads to the next point is it's part luck. You are going to be rolling these skill tests, and there are ways to make it easier for you to do that, but because it's got that element of luck, with not only the dice rolling, but also the cards that you end up drawing, it gets kind of suspenseful in the sense where you don't know if you're going to win or lose, and leads to the ability to play it again and again because you get itching for that win.
Yes, absolutely. And the variability in components is also pretty great here. You'll have a thick stack of tiles that are rooms that you explore, and you always set some aside, so you never really know what rooms you're going to get. You also have different event cards, different item cards, and the item cards are tiered too, so there's gold, bronze, and silver. So if you get those gold items early on, it creates a much more exciting game. However, if you're trying to find them later on down the road, you're just grasping for that win. So the variability, I think, is fairly strong here within all the components and the whole gameplay.
Yeah, definitely. Let's talk about imagination now. Well, as you can probably tell, this game is based on anime. Not any particular anime, but the characters are very anime. And then furthermore, they're children, but this game has also got this kind of thematic integration that is more on the darker side, spooky side. I mean, you're trying to escape from a demon in a castle while you're sleeping.
Nightmares.
So but it's pretty creative in that sense, and you really feel like you get immersed into what's happening in this game.
Yeah, the characters themselves are quite relatable as well. I love the inclusive and accessibility point here as well. One of the characters is in a wheelchair, and where usually there's feet for like the action points, they actually have wheelchair tracks, which I think is really great in this game. Beyond that, the theme of just escaping and the different items that you find that can help you, but also the nightmares and the bad dreams that are coming your way, and how you run away from certain ones and you want to be at some other ones. It's a really interesting and immersive element in that sense. And the other point I really do like in this game is it is quite immersive from the thematic sense too, because if one character, or if you're a child at the one end of the castle, all of a sudden you're almost chained up in a cage, you're going to be like, help, help, someone needs to come back and help me. So there is that communication element to it, which I really enjoy.
Lastly, let's talk about the target.
Is it you?
So CHAINsomnia, as I've already mentioned, it's anime themed. So I believe that if you take people who are interested in that anime and then they're also looking for a board game to play, Japanime Games in general does a really good job at that. So CHAINsomnia would be a good bridge for those two topics. And then same goes for the other way around. If you're interested in board games and you want to dip your toes into the anime space, then CHAINsomnia is probably where you want to go.
In terms of mechanics, it is a little bit of push your luck, tile flipping exploration type game. It is a cooperative game as well, so there's a lot of that kind of elements. So if you really enjoy cooperative games, tile placement games, a little bit of push your luck, you might enjoy this game as well. I think the closest comparable to this game is Betrayal in the House on the Hill, but there's no hidden traitor element here. You're all just trying to defeat that demon who is trying to give you all the spooky nightmares.
Yeah, full co-op. I'll just touch a little bit more on the push your luck piece too, because like we've kind of said multiple times here, is that this game isn't easy. It's not meant to be beat right away, so you have those elements of needing to find the right cards, needing to roll the right pieces, finding the right combination of characters to bring into the castle. So it's very interesting, but also very suspenseful because you have to get lucky sometimes.
It's true. And the game does come with a beginner scenario, which kind of teaches you how to play. There's only 6 tiles. It's pretty easy to go through, although if you get unlucky, maybe it isn't. But I really enjoy when games do that. They give the tutorial of kind of like just to run through and give you that easy experience of how to like feel the whole game without having to play a really drawn out game as well. And that is CHAINsomnia in a nutshell. What is the merit? Well, we gave you the merit.
Exactly. If you liked what you saw here, again, the Kickstarter is live, so go ahead and click on the link down below to learn a little bit more about what's going on in this game. And if you liked what you saw, maybe give us that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button or that bell notification to get more notifications about the videos we make.
And for our question of the day, we're gonna put the characters of this game up on the screen, and you're gonna have to tell us which one you would play as.
Exactly.
Who'd you play as?
Ryan.
I would be Charlotte.
Charlotte. Oh, spicy.
Well, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Bye.